Alright, hello everyone. Interesting ang topic natin ngayon. Something to do with situationships. So, ang title ko, Risk Factors of Situationships. Before this, syempre, Bible verse muna tayo. Punta tayo sa 1 Corinthians. Sabi ni St. Paul, God is not a God of confusion, but of peace. In other translations of the Bible, itong confusion, ginamit yung word na disorder. God is not a God of disorder, but of peace. Pero okay na rin naman to. It also captures the meaning of disorder. Siyempre, pag magulo, walang order, nagkakaroon ng confusion. And then from 1433, talon ka sa 1440, it says, but everything must be done in a proper and orderly manner. So you saw the connection here, no, between 1433 and 1440. Ko-connect natin yung dalawang yan later sa issue ng situationships. Now, just some background context. Bakit ba tayo may ganitong lecture? Unti-unti raw, sabi ng mga social psychologists, nagiging uso na yung situationships. It is slowly being normalized. 50 years ago, halos wala kang makikitang mga couples that would say that they are in situationships. They won't even know kung anong ibig sabihin ng situationships. Pero ngayon, parami ng parami yung mga young people who are in a relationship na kapag tinanong mo, anong relationship klase meron ka with this person, ang sasabihin sa'yo, they are in a situationship. So for those of you na hindi pa alam yung situationship, mamaya, ipapaliwanag natin yan. But then again, this is slowly being normalized. Siguro, unahan ko na rin, no? Situationships are relationships na hindi ganun kahalaga yung label. Okay lang na meron kayong relationship, pero hindi nyo nililabel yung sarili nyo as exclusively for each other. So this type of relationship, in our culture today, maraming mga influencers ang nagpo-promote na okay lang yung ganitong klaseng relationship. Kayo, pero walang label. Like for instance, in social media, I saw this post. Ang sabi ng taong to, hindi ko to kilala kung sino to, pero sabi niya, it's okay to enjoy someone's presence without having, altogether with, a label. Sa Tagalog, okay lang walang label. Huwag niyong problemahin kung wala kayong label. Let everything fall in place how it's supposed to. Enjoyin nyo lang. Now, for those of you who belong to this generation, for sure, marami sa inyo mag-agree kayo dito. Kung ipaparate ko to sa inyo ng 1 to 10, 10 highest, 1 lowest, gaano kayo ka-agree dito, I'm pretty sure marami sa inyo, bibigyan to ng 8, 9, or 10. Kasi nga ito yung ninonormalize in today's society. There's another author who said, actually, hindi ko sure kung author to, no, or vlogger, or writer, or whatever. Sabi niya, ang liit, hindi ko mabasa. How can love, any love, be given a label? So, anti-label na naman dito. Bakit ba natin bibigyan pa ng label kung nagmamahalan naman? If, sabi niya, it transcends such things. Kita nyo, hindi ko makita. Lakihan ko nga. It transcends such things. Yung label daw, love transcends the label. Hindi na natin kailangan labelan to kung nagmamahalan naman tayo. Yun yung sinasabi dito. It is for us to feel. Notice the emphasis on feeling. Okay? Self-love movement na to, no? It is for us to feel and not to think about. Huwag na natin isipin kung ano tayo. Huwag na natin isipin kung magjowa tayo. Kung mag-boyfriend or girlfriend tayo, ang mahalaga, we are happy. Let's not label what we have. So, yung ganyan mga quotable quotes na yan reflects kung ano ibig sabihin ng situationships. But then, kahit na ang situationships uso na, ninonormalize na ang bad news dito, as I will show later on, risk factor ito sa mental health. And for those of you who are psychology professionals, even psych students, pag sinabi mong risk factor sa clinical psychology, hindi maganda. So, ibig sabihin, ang implication nito, hindi maganda na ang isang tao papayag to be in a relationship with someone, tapos ang label nila is situationships. So, later on, I'm going to explain paano naging risk factor ang situationships. Simple lang yung outline natin for today. Number 1, we will start with the God of order, and then i-connect natin yan sa paliwanag natin kung bakit hindi maganda ang situationship sa mental health. Connected yan, dalawang yan. Kailangan muna malinaw to, that God, who made everything, including human relationships, is a God of order. Para magets nyo kung bakit risk factor ang situationships. Simulan na natin sa number 1, the God of order. All throughout the Bible, basahin mo from Genesis to Revelation, paulit-ulit na sinasabi that one characteristic, isang katangian ng Diyos is He loves order. Kaya ako binasa yung dalawang verses kanina. God is not a God of confusion. Again, in other translations, disorder, but of peace. And later on, inulit na naman yan, nire-enforce, but everything must be done in a proper and orderly manner. Actually, connected yung dalawang passages na yan. This is the nature of God. He is the God of order. He is not a God of confusion. Therefore, dapat bilang mga tao, because we reflect His image, we are created in God's image, dapat makikita sa atin yan. Nagigets nyo? Nature ng creator natin yan. Tayo yung creatures. Yung creator natin maayos. Therefore, dapat tayo rin as creatures, as we reflect His image, yung mga ginagawa natin maayos din. Everything that we do in our life, financial, health, career, especially relationships, must be done with what? Proper and orderly manner. Yun yung way natin to reflect the image of our Creator who is very orderly. Kumbaga, in psychological language, si Lord, the God of the Bible, mataas yung conscientiousness. For the psych majors here, I'm sure you remember conscientiousness, isa ito sa big 5 personality traits. Ito yung letter C sa ocean. The tendency to be organized, responsible, and hardworking according to the American Psychological Association. So, pwede mong masukat to kung gaano kataas yung conscientiousness mo by taking a personality test. So, ako, sa tingin ko, if God will take this personality test, sobrang taas ng conscientiousness niya. In fact, may mga smaller traits pa yan, no? And if you read the Bible, again, from Genesis to Revelation, observe how God operates within the pages of the Bible. Kitang-kita mo, matataas talaga yung mga sub-traits niya of conscientiousness. God is orderly, He is dutiful, God is self-efficacious, God is achievement-striving, so on and so forth. So, God is a very highly conscientious God. O ngayon, yung mga creatures niya, which is tayo, may mga tao din na matataas ang conscientiousness. Of course, may mga mabababa rin. Pero ang focus ko dito yung mga matataas ang conscientiousness. How do you translate that in our everyday life? Anong itsura ng mga taong matataas ang conscientiousness? Ganito ang ayos ng kanilang damitan. O, kaway-kaway dyan yung may mga cabinet. Sino dito, more or less, ganito ang itsura ng cabinet niya? Pag nagtaas ka ng kamay, most likely mataas ang conscientiousness mo. Kahit hindi ka na mag-test ng Big 5, kung ganito ang ayos ng gamit mo, tapos naiinis ka kapag may magulo dyan, most likely mataas yung conscientiousness mo. Yung workstation mo, ganito ang itsura. Hindi ka makakapag-start mag-work kapag may nakita kang libro dyan na nakausli, or hindi nakasunod sa alphabetical order, or hindi pantay-pantay yung distance ng mga laruan mo dito. Hindi ka makapag-start, hindi ka makapag-isip ng matino. Sino dito ganyan? If you raise your hand, if you show this trait, most likely, mataas yung conscientiousness mo. Okay? Now, what are the evidences? Kasi hindi naman lahat Bible readers, no? Ano yung mga evidences na nagpapakita that God is a highly conscientious God? Let me give you some examples, and let's start with nature. Sinabi kasi ni St. Paul yan, if you want to see the conscientiousness of God, if you want to confirm God's existence, tumingin ka lang sa nature. Kaya ito, side comment, for those of you who want to see God. I want to see God. I want to see a proof that God exists. The Bible teaches us one way to see God. Anong tinuturo ng Bible? Tumingin ka sa creation. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, kasama na dyan yung conscientiousness, sabi dito, makikita raw sa nature. Simulan natin sa universe, which is God's creation. Universe pa lang, kitang-kita mo na yung conscientiousness of God. Meron tayong tinatawag na cosmological constants. 'Di ba? If you look at the universe, grabe, ang ganda. Imposibleng accident ito. But more than that, other than aesthetics, alam nyo ba, for the universe to operate the way it operates, para yung planet Earth makapag-sustain ng buhay, everything in the universe has to be finely tuned. Kinakailangan maayos ang paggalaw ng mga bagay-bagay in the universe. Hindi dapat random. Yung paggalaw ng comet, yung pag-ikot ng mga moons around a planet, yung init ng sun, kung paano sumabog yung araw, kung paano magsimula yung stars, so on and so forth. Lahat yan governed by cosmological laws. Ito yung nakita ng mga astrophysicists na mga formula para mag-work yung universe the way it works. Sabi nga nila, this is so finely tuned. Sa Tagalog, sobrang eksakto, hindi mo pwedeng palitan ng isa dyan. Magpalit ka ng isa dyan, no matter how small, ano mangyayari, the universe will collapse, Earth will not be able to sustain life. So halimbawa, yung 100 dito, paglaruan mo, gawin mong, parang gusto ko 99. Hindi pwede. Pag ginawa mong 99 yan, under ng Hubble, parameter, the universe will collapse, we will not survive. Parang trip kong gawing 6.66 para Devil's number, yung Newton's constant. Hindi pwede. Kasi pag ginawa mo daw yung 6.66, everything collapses, the universe collapses, planet Earth will not be able to sustain life. Ganyan kaayos ang functioning ng universe, which is again reflects God's characteristic. Another example of God's orderliness is number 2, mag-zoom in tayo sa planet Earth. The way God created the world in 7 days. Hindi to tinuturo sa mga churches, no? Pero alam nyo ba, yung sequence ng pagkakasunod-sunod ng days of creation, merong logic. Hindi yan random. Day 1, nag-isip si Lord, ano kaya ang pwedeng magawa sa day 1? Gawin ko kaya itong light sa day 1. Nung day 2, ano kaya ang pwedeng magawa sa day 2 kasi bored ako ngayon? Gumawa nga ako ng atmosphere. Hindi ganon. In fact, if you study using the lens of science, ito, yung sequence ng creation, day 1 hanggang day 7, it follows a logical order. Ibig sabihin, logically, ito talaga dapat ang mauna bago ito. Hindi pwede magkaroon nito kung wala niyan. Hindi pwede magkaroon ng mga bagay-bagay sa day 3 kung wala yung mga ginawa ng days 1 and 2, so on and so forth. It follows a logical order. Hindi ito random, talagang pinag-isipan ng matindi. Which is again, a reflection of conscientiousness of God. Oh, hindi pa kayo kontento, no? Other than the universe, other than the planet Earth, mag-zoom in tayo sa mga living things in the planet Earth. Genesis 1:24 tells us that God created living things in categories. Organisado, maayos, hindi siya nag-randomly form ng mga living things and then pinarami na lang niya randomly. Meron siyang category of living things according to their kinds, according to Genesis 1:24. Kaya tayo nagkaroon ng taxonomy, classification of animals. The fact na merong classification of animals means si Lord nung gumagawa ng creatures, gusto niya maayos according to types. May lumilipad, merong pang tubig, merong pang land, merong pwedeng land, pwedeng tubig, so on and so forth. Nagkaroon ng ganyang classification. From animals, punta ka sa tao, ganun din. Lalong-lalo na yung tao because we are created in His image. Diba? Genesis 1:27 yan. So if human beings are created in God's image and God is a conscientious God, orderly God, dapat makakitaan ng certain order in the way human beings are. Ang tanong, meron bang order sa human beings? Meron. In the physiological level, obvious naman yung different systems natin. Para ang isang tao mabuhay ng maayos, dapat yung mga systems na yan, they work properly and they coordinate with one another every day. In fact, dyan nga nanggagaling yung maraming sakit eh. Nagkakaroon tayo ng disorder kapag may nasirang isang system dyan or hindi nagko-coordinate ng maayos, hindi nag-uusap-usap ng maayos yung mga systems na yan. So the fact that our bodies work this way, very systematic, very organized, is a reflection of God's conscientiousness. No wonder God is an orderly God. At yung pagka-orderly niya, yung pagmamahal niya sa ayos, reflects in His creation. Nagigets nyo? Ngayon, punta na tayo sa number 2. Let's go psychological here. I-connect na natin yung situationships. Bakit hindi maganda sa mental health Bakit risk factor yung pagpasok sa situationships? Siyempre, dapat alam muna natin yung definition ng situationships. According to one set of authors, si Pushkar and Singh, ano raw ang situationships? Ambiguous, undefined, ano pa? Casual, romantic relationships, lacking, ibig sabihin ng lacking, kulang, clear labels, walang labels, or formal commitment. Hindi malinaw kung anong dapat at hindi mo dapat gawin in this kind of relationship. Then they continue. Situationship is a relational state that develops between what? Two persons beyond friendship but without explicitly defining the level of their relationship. Definition pa lang magulo na. In fact, if you read the literature on situationships, ang common word na ginagamit dyan is ambiguity. Ibig sabihin niya sa Tagalog, malabo, hindi klaro. Parang itong nakikita nyo dito sa slide. May nakikita kang tao, pero hindi mo sure kung babae o lalaki o kung anong suot o kung anong ginagawa kasi malabo, distorted. Hindi klaro yung mga linya. Hindi klaro yung mga parameters. Kaya hindi mo ngayon maintindihan kung ano ba itong nakikita mo. In the same way, in situationships, ganun din. Dahil malabo, undefined nga, ambiguous, walang commitment, hindi mo malaman kung ano ba kayo. Jowa mo ba siya o hindi? Dapat ka ba mag-I love you o hindi? May anniversary ba kayo o wala? Dapat mo ba siyang i-date or hindi? May problema siya, ikaw ba dapat yung mag-process ng emotions niya o hayaan mo siya sa friends niya, so on and so forth, nalalabuan ka. Yan yung situationships. I did further research on situationships, ano yung mga common denominator or common features. Paano mo malalaman that you are in a situationship relationship? Ito raw. For those of you na nagtatanong, baka meron kang karelasyon dyan, hindi mo alam na sa situationship pala kayo, ito yung mga senyales. Number 1, syempre, walang label. Wala rin kayong exclusivity. 'Di ba? To summarize this in Tagalog, enjoyin lang natin kung anong meron tayo. Huwag nating labelan. Ayaw kong tatawagin mo kong boyfriend, ayaw kong tatawagin kitang girlfriend. We just enjoy each other's company. Wala rin kayong exclusivity. Dahil hindi naman kayong magjowa, you can see other people. So, pwede siyang makipag-text sa iba, pwede siyang makipag-date sa iba, pero, nagkakaintindihan na kayo. Kasi nga, wala naman kayong exclusivity, wala rin kayong label. Got it? Number 2, irregular contact. Ibig sabihin, wala kayong parang rule na every weekend, lalabas tayo, or every Friday, or every quote-and-quote month sa rin natin, kung meron man kayo, lalabas kayo, wala. Kung kailan nyo lang feel makita yung isa't isa, doon lang kayo magkikita. So, wag nating i-expect yung isa't isa na dapat lagi tayong magtatawagan, lagi tayong magkikita sa school, lagi tayong magde-date. Walang ganyang expectation. Kung gusto ko lumabas, gusto mo rin lumabas, pareho naman tayong free, edi labas tayo. Ganon. Number 3, there are no clear boundaries. Minsan jowa, minsan friend. So, yung karelasyon mo dito, minsan, kung mag-behave sa'yo, parang jowa mo siya. Pinagbubukas ka ng pinto, binibigyan ka ng rings or ng jewelries, nag-I love you sa'yo. Pero minsan, friend lang tingin niya sa'yo. Nung nakita niya yung barkada niya, kasama ka, pinakilala ka naman sa barkada niya as a friend. Hello everyone, uy bro, ito, kaibigan ko. Pero, after mawala nung barkada, mag-I love you, hawakan ulit yung kamay mo. Yun. So, walang clear boundaries. No? Number 4, no long-term plans. Yan. Sabi ko dito, we'll take it when we're there. Ganyan yung sagot ng mga yan eh. Tanungin mo, saan ba papunta tong relationship na to? Or ano bang plano mo sa akin? Yan yung sagot. Huwag muna nating isipin yan. Enjoyin lang muna natin kung anong meron tayo ngayon. We'll take it when we're there. Yan. Pero yung we're there na yan, yung there na yan, 5 taon na niyang sinasabing papunta doon, pero sa totoo lang walang pinapatunguhan. Yan. So mag-reflect kayo. For those of you who are watching, kayo ba you are in a relationship na ganyan? Kitang-kita yung numbers 1 to 4. If you are, most likely, anong tawag sa relationship nyo? You are in a situationship. Nagigets nyo? Ngayon, masarap ng pagtabihin yung dalawang ideas that I have been sharing so far. Human relationships are divinely designed to be orderly. Kasi sino ba gumawa sa tao? Ang Diyos. Sino bang gumawa ng relationship ng tao? Ang Diyos din. Alright? So when God created humans and relationships among humans, He meant it to be orderly. Yan ang disenyo ng relationship ng tao, dapat orderly. In what way? May label. Number 2, meron kayong covenant, meron kayong kontrata sa isa't isa. Ganyan dapat ang human relationships. 2 foundations of human relationships. May label, may covenant, / may contract. Kung titignan nyo to, itong red box na to, ikumpara mo sa numbers 1 to 4, kabaliktaran ng box na to. Total opposite. Diba? Dito, walang label. Dito, walang covenant, walang contract. Pero focus lang muna tayo sa red box. I want to focus on how God intended human relationships to be. Unahin natin yung labels. Mahalaga ang label. Isa yan sa mga foundation ng human relationships. If you are going to have a relationship with someone, dapat meron kayong label. 'Di ba? Yung unang Bible verse that describes the first human relationship involved labels. Remember when Adam, the first time he saw Eve, anong sabi? This is at last bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. Tinawag kaagad ng label yung isa pang tao which is called a woman. She shall be called woman. Label kaagad yung binigay. So tao ako, si Adam, may isa pa akong taong nakita for the first time, dapat ko to bigyan ng label. I am a man, you will be a woman because she was taken out of man. You see how important labels are. Woman and man. And then sa verse 24, ito na yung template of the family. Marriage / family. Therefore, a man, diba? May label ka agad, specific, shall leave his father and mother, labels din yan, and hold fast to his what? Wife. And they shall become one flesh. Ulitin ko how important labels are in human relationships. Ang unang human relationship, yan ang unang binigay. Nagkaroon sila ng labels. Man, woman. Mother, father. Hindi magkakaroon ng marriage and family kung walang labels. And later on, ito kasi Old Testament sa Genesis, pag pumunta ka sa Matthew, inulit na naman ni Kristo yan. Ni-reinforce ni Kristo na dapat may labels. Sabi nga, di ba? Haven't you read? Ano yung read na sinasabi ni Kristo dito? Yung Genesis. Inulit niya. Ano sabi? That at the beginning, the Creator made them what? Male and female. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife. Inulit niya yung Genesis 2:23-24, which means, in biblical interpretation, kapag may idea sa Old Testament na inulit sa New Testament, super importante yon. Until now, totoo yan. Na sa human relationships, dapat mahalaga na merong labels. Now, you might ask, what's with labels? Bakit ba in-overemphasize yung labels? Ano bang silbi niyan? Ano ang tulong ng labels in human relationships? It makes human relationships stable. Pag may labels kasi, yung mga tao sa relationship mas maayos. We know how to behave. We know what to expect. Nagkakaroon tayo ng malinaw na roles and responsibilities pag may labels. Tulad ng, if you further read the Bible, ang dami niyan. Kapag ang label mo, ikaw yung wife, na dapat babae, okay? Ito yung roles mo. Basahin nyo lang yung mga Bible verses dyan. Ito yung responsibilities mo bilang babae, bilang wife. Pag ang label mo husband, which is dapat lalaki, hinto na lang ako doon, but you know what I mean. Label mo husband, ito yung rules mo. Rules. Ito yung responsibilities mo as a husband. And the more you fulfill your responsibility as a wife, your responsibility as a husband, the more na ginagawa niyo yan, mas nagiging maayos yung pamilya, nagiging orderly. Diba? Maghanap ka ng isang pamilyang magulo. Bakit? Most likely, may isa sa kanila or pareho sila, hindi nila ginagawa yung kanilang roles and responsibilities. Got that? Because again, that's how human relationships are meant to work. We function according to our roles based on our labels. Nagigets nyo? Kaya mahalaga talaga yung labels in human relationships. Number 2, punta tayo sa covenant and contract. Kapag ikaw nakikipagrelasyon ka sa isa pang tao, dapat meron kayong pangako sa isa't isa. Again, it makes the relationship very stable. Hindi magulo, maayos. To summarize that, human relationships are designed by God for what? Divine social covenant. Kaya kung gusto mo maging maayos ang relationship mo sa isa pang tao, dapat meron kang papangako sa kanya at meron din siyang ipapangako sa iyo at pareho niyong tutuparin yon. For example, in the Old Testament, that's how they form alliances. Kung yung isang king gusto niya makipagkaibigan sa isa pang nation, sa king nung nation na yon, magkakaroon sila ng covenant, agreement. And during those times, one of the things they do, they give their sons and daughters for marriage. Bilang tanda ng pakikipagkaibigan ko sa iyo, ibibigay ko yung aking anak na babae sa anak mong lalaki. Ito o sila yung magiging tanda na meron tayong relationship. Yung nations natin magkakampi. Magtutulungan tayo kapag may mga sumusugod sa atin. Meron tayong covenant sa isa't isa. Ganyan ang human relationships. When you function according to the covenant at tinutupad mo yung mga pangako na yon, mas nagiging maayos yung relationships mo sa mga tao. Syempre, ito Old Testament to, no? Fast forward natin hanggang ngayon, ito nangyayari to, yung marriage. It's also a good example. Marriage, isa yung klase ng pakikipagrelasyon. 'Di ba? So kapag lalaki ka, makikipagrelasyon ka sa isang babae, tapos may marriage na mangyayari, ibig sabihin gusto mo siya maging asawa. Ikaw rin magiging asawa ka niya. Asawa kayo ng isa't isa, pero label lang ba? Hindi. Hindi humihinto sa label yung mag-asawa. Ang mag-asawa, other than the ring, no, na binigay nila sa isa't isa, meron din silang divine social covenant na dapat tuparin. Meron silang promise sa isa't isa. Vino-verbalize pa nga yung promise na yan, saan? Sa simbahan, where they are married. Sinasabi nila yung mga covenants nila in front of God, as well as in front of people special to them. For those of you na naka-attend ng mga weddings, I'm sure, na-witness nyo yun. May sinasabi sila sa isa't isa. Promises nila sa isa't isa. Sinasabi nila yan in front of God, in front of other people, para maging maayos yung relationship nila. Kaya nagkaroon ng marriage vow. For those of you who are not aware, marriage vows are actually promises. Hindi lang to sinasabi para kiligin yung audience, para kiligin yung pastor. Sinasabi ito para tanda na meron silang covenant, meron silang promise sa isa't isa. And the success of their marriage highly depends on whether or not tutuparin ba nila yung mga promises na yan. Anong promise mo sa wife mo? / anong promise mo sa husband mo? Ito, I take you as my wife, to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better or worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death do us part. Promise. And the more the husband and the wife fulfill this promise, mas nagiging maayos ang marriage. Tama ba? Vice versa, mas hindi nila ginagawa to. Hindi nila tinutupad to. Ano nangyayari? Mas gumugulo ang marriage. That's why for those of you who are not yet married, pero in the future gusto nyo maging maayos yung married life nyo, ito yung practicein nyo, ito yung paghandaan nyo. Na dapat pag sinabi mo to sa future wife mo or future husband mo, tutuparin mo. Dapat magaling kang tumupad ng covenant. Does that make sense? So going back to this slide, what makes human relationships stable? Ano ang disenyo ng human relationships according to how God designed it? Yan. Dapat may labels, dapat may covenant. Ikumpara mo ngayon yan sa situationships. Kumpara mo yan sa numbers 1 to 4. Total opposite of this one. Kaya nga sabi ko dito in the red box, this is, situationships, is against the divine design of human relationships. Kaya masasabi ko na karamihan ng mga taong pumapasok sa situationships, they have a disordered, hindi pala nakita dito, itaas natin, they have a disordered relationship. Magulo. I'm sure marami kayong kakilala who are in a situationship. I'm sure isa yan sa mga masasabi nila about their experience. Ano masasabi mo sa relationship mo with this person na nasa situationship kayo? Ang sasabihin niya, magulo. Hindi kami magkaintindihan. Away kami ng away. Now we understand why. Because you are practicing human relationships that is not the design of how human relationships ought to be. Ibang-iba yung situationships. Hindi dapat ganon, pero ginagawa niyong ganon. And as we know, if you do something outside the divine design, hindi mo sinusunod yung disenyo ng Diyos sa isang bagay, nagkakaroon ng negative outcomes. Kasama na dyan yung mental health risk. And this is according to a number of researches that show na talagang marami mga tao who are in a situationships, hindi maganda ang mental health. Tulad ng, mayroon kang emotional suffering. Kasi nga, yung mga expectations mo sa partner mo, hindi nasusunod. Bakit hindi nasusunod? Wala naman kasing rule na dapat i-meet yung expectations sa isa't isa. So, paulit-ulit kang umaasa at nabibigo. You emotionally suffer. Nagkakaroon ka ng anxiety. Hindi mo alam sinong kasama ng partner mo. Namimiss mo yung partner mo, pero wala siyang obligation na puntahan ka pag namimiss mo siya. At pwede siyang may kasamang iba. Hindi ka dapat magagalit. So, it causes anxiety. Nagkakaroon ka ng dissatisfaction. Kasi nga, away kayo ng away. Nagkakainitan kayo ng ulo. Naiinis ka sa kanya. Hindi niya ginagawa to. Hindi niya ginagawa yan. Hindi naman siya obligado. Yun. Dissatisfied ka. There are times na lulungkot ka. Namimiss mo siya pero may kasama siyang iba. Hindi ka naman pwedeng magalit kasi nga, hindi naman kayo. Pero nag-I love you sa'yo. Nag-I love you ka sa kanya. Nalulungkot ka tuloy. Nagkakaroon ka ng fear. Natatakot ka na mawala siya. Gusto mo sana kayo na nakikita mo na siya as your husband, pero ayaw nga niya ng label. So natatakot ka ngayon na baka hindi siya yung maging husband mo. Di sira na naman yung mental health mo. Meron kang emotional drain. Naro-roller coaster yung emotion mo. Kasi minsan switch siya. Monday to Wednesday, switch siya. Dinala ka sa Star City, nag-roller coaster kayo doon, binigyan ka niya ng cotton candy, sinubuan ka pa ng cotton candy, hinatid ka pa pauwi, kinausap pa yung parents mo, kilig na kilig ka. Nung Tuesday, kinabukasan, nabalitaan mo may kasamang iba, anong ginawa? Yun din kung anong ginawa nyo kahapon. Dinala rin niya sa Star City. Pinakain din niya ng cotton candy, sumakay din sa roller coaster, pumunta din sa bahay nung kadate niya, nagpakilala din sa magulang. Kahapon kinikilig ka, ngayon inis na inis ka, hurt na hurt ka. At ang masaklap doon, hindi ka pwede magalit sa kanya. Bakit? Hindi naman kayo Situationship kayo. So bakit ka magagalit? Hindi kayo. Nagigets nyo? Kaya yung mga nakikita nila in these studies about situationships, hindi talaga maganda sa mental health when people enter situationships. Lalo na ito, maganda rin tong picture na to, di ba? Tumitingin sa iba. Kasama ka, tumingin sa iba. Dapat ka bang magalit? Hindi. Bakit? Hindi ka naman niya girlfriend Meron siyang karapatan tumingin sa iba kasi wala naman kayong label. So dapat wag kang magalit. 'Di ba? Wag kang magalit na tumitingin siya sa iba kasi nga hindi kayo. Kaya nga to tie everything up, Numbers 1 to 6. If there's one word that will summarize all this, nakaka-frustrate to be in situationships. Sinisira yung mental health mo. Ang dami mong expectations na hindi nasusunod because of the setup. Para kang isang basketball player na nafu-frustrate ka, nagagalit ka sa referee. Bakit ng isang basketball player nagagalit sa referee? Bakit may negative emotion siya sa referee? Kasi feeling niya, yung referee hindi ina-apply ng tama yung rules ng game. Dapat may foul, hindi ka tumawag ng foul. Tumapak doon sa outside, hindi mo tinawagan na tumapak sa outside. 'Di ba? Hindi mo nasusunod yung rule. Hindi mo ina-apply yung rule, nakaka-frustrate ka, kaya niya nasisigawan yung referee. Ganon din sa human relationships, especially situationships. Right? May mga rules dapat ang relationship, the way God designed it, may label, may responsibilities, may covenant, pero hindi mo sinusunod yung mga covenants. Wala tayong label, nakaka-frustrate. Yun. Doon ang gagaling yun. Which explains why most people in situationships experience these mental health risks. Maliwanag. Now, in closing, ano yung mga applications natin in this lecture? Syempre, number 1, obvious ba? Don't go in Don't allow yourself to be in a situationship. Pag may nagyaya sa'yo, halika, pasok tayo sa isang situationship. Let's just enjoy what we have. Huwag natin labelan yung isa't isa. It will just complicate things. What do? Run away. Takbuhan mo. Iwan mo yan. For sure, that's not the right person for you. Ito yung mga dapat non-negotiables mo. Okay? Huwag na huwag kang papasok sa isang relationship na hindi nasasagot yung tatlong yan. Dapat may sagot na maayos. Number 1, ano tayo? Dapat may label. At dapat yung label mo valid. Ano lang yung valid? Boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. Ganon. Simple. Anything in between, dangerous. Fishy. Number 2, saan to papunta? Dapat may long-term plan. Hindi pwedeng date lang kayo ng date, nood lang kayo ng nood ng sine. Dapat, syempre, as a couple, may plano kayo saan to papunta. 'Di ba? Pupunta ba to sa marriage? Pupunta ba to sa future family? What? Dapat may ganyang sagot. May long-term plan. Number 3, dapat may rules. Dapat may limitations. Can you hold my hand? Can you hug me? Can you kiss me? Hanggang saan lang yung dapat kong ibibigay? Hanggang saan lang dapat yung action na gagawin mo sa akin? Pwede ba tayong pumunta sa bahay ng isa't isa? Magpapakilala ba tayo sa mga parents natin? Lahat yan dapat malinaw. Never enter a relationship na ito, yung tatlong to, hindi nasasagot. Kasi kapag pumasok ka sa isang relationship at lahat ito pending, hindi sure, hindi malinaw, kasi ine-enjoy nyo lang muna yung isa't isa, red flag. Takbo kayo. That's not good for your mental health. Sundin natin yung sinabi ni St. Paul, di ba? God meant relationships to be orderly. Therefore, let's do relationships in an orderly way. But everything must be done in a proper and orderly manner. Yung everything dito kasama dyan yung pakikipagrelasyon. Dapat may label, dapat may covenant. Dapat may promises na tinutupad ng mga tao sa relationship na yon. Yan ang proper way of relating with another human being. Number 2, another application here is stop glorifying situationship. Kasi yan yung napapansin ko in today's culture, no? Masyadong pinagmamalaki, masyadong ginagawang positive yung pagiging in a situationships. For example, sasabihin, no, na yung mga taong nasa situationships, mga open-minded. Tapos i-demonize pa yung mga kontra. Sasabihin, kayong mga tao na ay sa situationships, mga old school kasi kayo. Mga traditional kayo, mga makikitid ang utak ninyo. Oh. So tayo ngayon naniniwala sa ganun, feeling natin tayo pa yung bad. Bad people tayo kasi hindi tayo naniniwala sa situationships. Hindi dapat ganun. 'Di ba? After everything I presented, I'm sure, sana, klaro sa inyo na hindi maganda ang situationships. Hindi tayo dapat yung nahihiya na hindi tayo naniniwala sa situationships. Hindi ibig sabihin nun na makitid yung utak natin. Because we don't believe in situationships. We don't believe in situationships. Why? Because we know it's not the way God designed human relationships to be. Dapat ganun yung attitude. Hindi makitid yung utak natin, alam lang natin kung ano ang tama. Amen? Letter B, sasabihin pa, modern times na. May artista nagsabi niyan dati, no? Pero ang issue dito, live-in, hindi situationship. Pero the idea is the same. Diba? Modern times na, sabi ng artista na to, it's already 2017. Well, ang isang bagay, lalo na in the spiritual realm, the spiritual laws, tama yan or mali yan regardless which time. Nagigets nyo? Forever tama yan, forever mali yan. Yung pagiging tama or mali ng isang bagay, especially situationships, hindi yan nakadepende kung anong year na. Dahil 2024 na, tama na yung situationships. No, it's not the way God intended human relationships to be. And that will remain not good as long as we live, as long as the spiritual law of God applies. Letter C, ito. Maraming mahilig dito. Sasabihin, dapat i-practice natin yung inclusivity and diversity. Irespeto na lang natin yung mga tao na nasa situationships kasi dyan naman sila masaya eh. Hayaan na lang natin sila. Kung yan yung paniniwala nila, okay sa kanila yung situationships, masaya naman sila, then hayaan na lang natin sila. Now, dito na ngayon papasok yung pagtatalo, yung conflict ng respect versus save. And I think in this situation, ito yung panahon na hindi mo dapat pinapairal yung respect. You need to apply correction. You need to save people from situationships. Huwag mo sabihin na irespeto na lang natin sila. Paano kung ganito nga yung mangyayari sa kanila? Siguro ngayon wala pa kasi kilig stage pa lang. Pero in the long run, they continue their situationship, dito sila papunta. Aantayin pa ba natin yon? Irespeto na lang natin sila kahit papunta na sila dyan. Hindi dapat ganun eh. Kung psych professional ka and you care about human beings, you care about the psyche that God created, hindi dapat respect ang gagawin mo dito. Alam mong papunta sila dito, you save them from this. So wag mong i-promote, wag mong i-glorify yung situationships. And last one, number 3, eto supernatural perspective to. Let's acknowledge that situationships is a spiritual warfare. Remember, merong spiritual forces who hate God. Because they hate God, ano ang number 1 goal nila? To destroy human well-beings. At ang leader dyan sa evil forces who hate God is none other than the devil, Satan. Basahin nyo na lang yung John 8:44 kung anong nature ng devil. He is a liar. Yun na lang yung emphasize ko dito. He is a liar. Yan yung goal niya, magpakalat ng mga kasinungalingan na ikasisira ng mga tao created in the image of God. Because in the perspective of the devil, the best way to hate God is to destroy what he loves the most, which is human beings in his image. Kaya yan ang obsession ng spiritual forces, the evil forces, sirain yung well-being ng mga tao na ginawa ng Diyos. And one way to destroy human beings is through what? Relationships. Sirain natin yung well-being ng mga tao. Let's make them hate God because their relationships did not work. So ano ang ipapakalat nilang kasinungalingan? That situationship works. Yan ngayon yung binubulong ng mga evil forces sa iba't ibang mga tao. Binubulong yan sa media. Binubulong yan sa mga influencers. Yun na yung pinakita ko kanina. Ako naniniwala, itong taong to, kung sino man to, na-impluwensyahan ito ng evil forces. Nabulungan at naniwala siya. Kaya ito ngayon yung ipapakalat niya, it's okay to enjoy someone's presence without having a label on what you two are. Let everything fall in place how it's supposed to. Nagigets nyo? Kapag ito naniwala at maraming fanbase to, yung fanbase niya maniniwala dito, saan papunta yung mga fanbase niya naniniwala sa sinabi niya, dito papunta. What a way to destroy human beings. Nagigets nyo? Yung isa ko pang pinakita, ganyan din yan eh. Yung ganyang idea. Diba? Loving transcends label. So, wag natin labelan. Let's enter situationships. Kiligin lang tayo ng kiligin. Wag na nating pag-isipan yung mga bagay-bagay. Let's not overcomplicate things. Maging masaya lang tayo. You see where this is going? It's going here. Kasi nga, yan yung goal ng evil forces na bumubulong sa mga tao that situationships work. It's a big lie. This is a spiritual warfare na dapat aware tayo. That it's destroying our psyche. Unfortunately, dahil nga marami mga tao ngayon, mababa ang spiritual intelligence, they don't see these things as lies. Diba? Ang sasabihin pa nila, ito, mga modern ideas, modern ways of thinking. This is called progress in human thinking. Ang galing ng evil forces in distorting the truth. Hindi naman talaga to progressive eh. This is something that will destroy us in the future. As the data as the data indicates. Yan. Diyan papunta yung mga taong naniniwala that situationships work because again, that is a big lie na pinasimulan ng mga evil forces to destroy human beings. Alright? So, yun lang yung maikli nating lecture about situationships. Sana may mga natutunan kayo. If you have any questions or comments, ilagay nyo lang dyan sa comment section. Until the next lecture, sir.